Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Marriage is Tougher Than Woodpecker Lives podcast. This is Brian, joined by my co host, Paul. We'd like to welcome you to a community meant for the men of the world to share their thoughts and perspectives on marriage. We can learn from each other's experiences and help each other be better husbands. Today, we'd like to talk to you about being a 365 husband. That's 365 days a year, 52 weeks, all that. Are you delivering on your promise of being a husband all the time? Are you regressing into your escapism? That's what we'd like to talk to you about.
Before we hop all the way in the episode, just wanted to encourage you to lean into community. If you're searching Marriage is Tougher on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, you can find us. Leave some comments there, especially slide in the DMs on Instagram, and we'll get back to you. Or you can go to our site, marriageistougher.com. If you'd like to be a guest, there's a contact form at the bottom. You can fill that out. We'll get it. We'll reach out to you and see how we can fit you into the show. Again, if you're a first-time listener, we just want to say thank you for stopping by. If you've been listening to us for a while, thank you so much, and thanks for rocking with us. All right, let's get into the show.
So, my man, are you a 365 husband?
I'd probably say, realistically, I might be a 350.
Right?
When you say it and put it for what it is, are you
Yeah.
leaning back into your escapisms? I can't say I 100% can say this day I did or this time I did, but knowing that I'm human and knowing that sometimes I'm like, oh, I wasn't really thinking about me, or this is a little much. I need to go to the bathroom. Or the yard is calling me. I'm not really sure.
Oh,
The
man.
basement is a little dirty. Got to go practice my bass.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things just when you hit that escapism. It's like, oh, like there's some things that I need to do, or some things that I'm doing because of. Right. So you just kind of checked me real quick with that title and description. What about you, Mr. 365?
Yeah. I think I would like to be because the idea sounds nice, right? Yeah, I'm always there, but I tend to escape into my work.
Mm,
And, there are times when she needs me to pitch in with the dishes or something. I'm like, man, I could wait till tomorrow. you know, I'm working on being better, but I fall back every once in a while. I'd say I'm a good 85%.
yeah. I mean, I think there is realness to both of our answers there. Um, no one ever arrives, I guess. It's more so leaning in and trying to be the best, like putting things in place. I wonder how good we would be with this if we actually text each other each day and said, how are you being as a husband today?
Oh, I love open-ended questions. um, that's a good that's a good point. Another point, which is only fair to the husband, not maybe only fair to the husband, but which is fair to the husband, is this even realistic, the 365? Because we do talk about how our mental and physical health play a role in us being able to even be a 365 husband.
That is the fairest of points. It's it's how realistic is this, but also how do you not make it excuses? It's that
Right.
balance of, is this an excuse or is this a reason? And then if it's a reason, how often is this reason coming up? And if it's more often than you'd like, now we have to do some work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
And
also think that what does that mean? What does 365 mean? Right? If that's starting off each day intentional, then I think that no matter what your circumstances, you can be an intentional husband every day.
Yep.
But I don't start every day off saying, "Oh, I'm going to be intentional today." But I
Right.
think if I did, my mindset may shift.
Yeah, we get into the routine of daily life, right? Because again, I don't start with that thought either. My typical thought is this is what I have to do to get out of bed and get going to work, right?
Hmm.
Now, in discussions with my wife, she prefers if I, give her a kiss, say goodbye, and say I love you before I leave, which I typically do. I'm building a habit within that. So I don't not think about her in the morning or think about being a husband in the morning, right?
Right.
But admittedly, it's not my first thought when I wake up. And I don't
Yeah.
know that it necessarily has to be, but there should be a period of intentionality, like you're saying, of how can I be the best husband today, right? I know we've talked about, and maybe this is just me thinking about therapy, but how can I be the best husband in this moment, right?
Hmm.
That often comes up for me when she's not there and things need to get done and I've got all the kids, right? Or if she worked the night before and the kids have somewhere to be, and I'm like, I'm just gonna man up and get things done, right? Like was it last weekend? I think I took all the kids to go get their flu shots. Right, she just worked the night before, um, and there's sometimes that sign that she's not feeling well or just needs to sleep, and I just did what needed to be done. So
Hmm.
it was one of those spots where it's, how can I be the best husband right now? And she was very appreciative. So made the right move.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of how do we keep this in the forefront? How do
Mm-hmm.
we keep the intentionality of being the best husband that you can be in your mind? It is exactly what you just said. How can I be the best husband in this moment? How can I be, I'm a firm believer of the things that you start your day with, affect your day as well. So if
Mm-hmm.
you can just say that in the morning when you wake up, after your prayers or whatever, and say, okay, I'm starting the day. How can I be the best husband? That will intrinsically filter your day. Like, you won't be, you won't have to say it every time, but that's something you start with. And the more you say it each day, the more how can I be the best husband in this moment pops up when you're
Mm-hmm.
making decisions and when you're acting and making choices. So that's what I think about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think what we're really talking about is just building the muscle,
Hmm.
right? Working it out and making it stronger. So, like you said, it's not an afterthought, but now a habit, right? And if we dive a little bit deeper into it, I think we often talk about being better versions of ourselves. And I see myself as the best version of myself when I'm being the best husband I can be, right? Because that, like we've said before on the podcast, plays a lot into my life external from the house. So if I'm being the best husband I can be, I'm typically also showing up as the best version of myself to you know everyone or everywhere.
Yeah, that that's a good point to bring up and remember. Absolutely. I feel like if you are called to be married, or if you feel like that's what you should do, there is something about being married that should, right? Your wife is the picture of you, like the mirror of you. So you should be able to see how to be better with your interactions with her. And in turn, that's how you interact with the world in a better way. So absolutely agree with that. What are some ways I would say to um, not let your escapism get the best of you?
That's a tough one. I think for me, the children are definitely a driver to that, because they always want your attention. So that if I in a moment slip into escapism, they very easily pull me back out of it. I think where I struggle most with escapism is when nobody's home, right? And it's not like I'm going to say, oh, I've been assigned duties, right? But there's things that I know that should get done, don't necessarily need to get done in the moment. But if I have the time, I probably should work on those, so I'm not scrambling to get them done later, right? Those are the times, though, that I tend to struggle with escapism. So I think, again, it just comes with intentionality of, scheduling things that need to be scheduled. And then when you're going to have downtime, just getting the stuff that you would like to get done out of the way up front. Or, if there's an Ohio State game at noon while you're going to be at your daughter's cheer competition, just figure out a way to watch phone football while she's not on the on the floor.
Right. No, I think it's all about intentionality. But I think the first thing you have to realize is that you do use escapism, and then
Yeah,
you have to realize what those things are.
right.
And it can be something you love to do. It can be something that just helps you out. But you have to start questioning the why.
Hmm.
If being intentional really will change your life. If you want to be better, learn anything, or do something, you have to be intentional uh, to gain that skill. And a lot of times, once we get to where we think we should be or we're in a good place, we kind of coast, and then we become a little bit more lax in those things. But those that continue to improve, they're always intentional, or most often intentional about whatever they're working on. So I think it's realizing, hey, this is something I do to escape. Is there something else that needs done right now that I just am trying not to do? I know we're talking tasks right now, but that's just the best example. Um, do I need dishes, or should I practice my bass right now? Because you can do the dishes, then practice your bass, right? You don't
Right.
have to
Yeah.
have a 90-minute bass shed when it could take you 10 minutes to get the dishes done, right? And then, in essence, everybody wins in that moment. Um,
Hmm.
or even if it's like dodging a conversation. Oh, like I need to get this done for the house. So now you're doing the tasks because you don't want to have the conversation. So you have to
Right.
realize, like, what do I use to escape, and why am I doing that? Because if it's just a reason and it's something that needs done, that's healthy life management. But if it's now causing you not to do something that really needs to grow your marriage, that's when we need to work on it.
Yeah. you you just pulled my card, man. I am never more productive than when I'm trying to avoid a conversation. I need to dive into that a little bit to figure out the why, like you said. But man, all the things, like you said, grass will be cut, weed whacking will be done, dishes will be done, dinner will be cooked.
Cars will be clean.
Yeah, man, vacuumed, all of that. You know, I'll take the pressure washer, hook the hose up from the back, run it all the way to the front.
Ready.
I'm like, oh wow, the siding really hasn't been cleaned in a while. Let me get on that. Oh man. And then after avoiding the conversation, you'll want credit for all those things you did.
That part.
Just saying.
That is so
Just saying.
diabolical, right? Like, I'm really doing this not out of the motivation that it needs to be done or to help anyone else. I'm just trying to dodge this conversation. But look how amazing everything is. Isn't it
Yeah.
great?
Yeah.
You know it
Can I get
is.
a pat on the back
You
for
could
that?
say it. It's awesome. Like, what?
Yeah. But our wives are real ones. And while they'll say thank you, they'll also be like, however, we still need to talk.
We still need to have this conversation. Like, you know what?
Uh-huh.
You're not wrong.
I just got done working real hard, so let me go take the
No,
shower quick.
right. I'm still sweaty. Let me take a shower and then try to fall asleep in the bed. Maybe tomorrow. Oh man.
Yeah, that is not a 365 husband right there, in case you were
Yeah,
wondering.
that's one of the days that knocks it down to 350.
345.
um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's what we talk about all the time. It's mindset, right? Obviously, you're human, and you're gonna have days that it's not gonna work out. But we're not looking for those days. We're not um, excusing those days. We're trying to be every day. We're trying to be as intentional as we can be to be that husband that is fully engaged and has shown up to the spaces that he walks in. I think that's what being a 365 husband is. Knowing you're not perfect, but you're trying and you're being intentional at least to think through things, no matter what the circumstance that you're in.
Yeah. And we're coming up on time here, but I will leave with one final nugget. I never feel more capable of being or walking in my full husbandness as when I am fully executing how I should be outside of the house. Okay. So if I'm hitting on all cylinders at work, if I feel like I have an appropriate amount of time with friends or self for that matter, it makes it so much easier for me to come home and be that 365 husband. So what I will say is it's both and for any of the wives out there or wives to be who might be listening, uh, you know, the best you can do to aid and or help your husband be the best version of himself outside, at least in my case, and I'm sure in others, it helps to have him there for you when he's home.
That's good. It sounds like balance.
Yes, sir.
Sounds like being healthy everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely both and.
that's it. Well, we appreciate you listening to this episode. Again, if you have any comments, if this impacted you in any way, if you loved it, if you hate it, hit us up on IG, searching Marriage is Tougher, and all of our platforms, Facebook, um, on YouTube. Leave a comment, and you can always go to the contact form at marriageistougher.com. At marriageistougher.com, you get to see all the archived episodes as well. So please reach out, let us know what you think, and we will get at you next time.
Peace.